This is the SoCal Intellect Podcast with my guys Edwick and Andres. Guys, we need to talk about the finals. Tomorrow's the day. What y'all got? Like, what's the predictions? Let's start off with that. What y'all got going for this series?
You go ahead first. I'm gonna let Heat fans go.
I mean, first of all, before we get to the finals, we're still demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. Unfortunately, her fate was decided last week, and as we all know, things didn't go our way. And this is not to be political because human rights are not political.
Indeed.
We're still demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. Malika Andrews on SportsCenter, she was saying how every time she hears that she was 25 years old, she tells us that she's 26 and that it could have been her. So our thoughts and prayers are with her family from all of us here, and we're still demanding justice for Breonna Taylor.
Indeed.
Moving on to something that's not so important like basketball, I feel like we've been the underdogs the whole postseason, against the Pacers. Everyone thought that TJ Warren was going to turn into Michael Jordan against us, and Jimmy shut that down. Against the Bucks, everyone was saying that Giannis was going to be the MVP and be like 2000 Shaquille O'Neal, and I was like, chill. And we shut that down too. We finally get to Brad Stevens and the Celtics, and everyone's like, you know what? Spo has to face a good coach now. Boston in 5, Boston in 3. Took care of that too. So like Jimmy said, we've been underdogs the whole postseason. So, and we're not expected to win the series, and he said that's fine. So a safe bet, for those of you that are gambling addicts, would be Lakers in 6. But that's all I got to say for now.
For me, man, I said it on Twitter, man. I came into this, the Heat making it to the finals. That for me was ultimately enough. That's all I wanted once we got past the Bucks. I'm like, man, if we can get to the finals, even if we don't win, just getting there, if we beat all the Eastern teams, because most of the people I talk to on Twitter are fans of Eastern Conference teams. So I need the bragging rights for at least the next year. We can get to the finals, man. That's good enough for me, and we did. So I'm going to say, Lakers in probably 5 or 6 games. But if we somehow pull off an upset, I mean, hey, I'm just telling people now, y'all hearing it first on the SoCal Intellect Podcast, y'all better block me if the Heat somehow win the championship. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all, the Laker fans, y'all better block me. I swear to God. That's all I'm going to say. Eric, we on to you, man. What's your prediction?
Man, I really want to go with the Heat because I feel like people are already like underdogging them a little too much because after all we've seen, you see how deep they are, and they're a team full of just like scrappy dudes. Yeah. Like they're gonna fight their way in each win no matter what. Like even if I feel like they'll be shooting 10% from 3, they'll find a way to be in that game regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I think from before the playoffs even started, I picked Lakers to win it all. So I'm just going to stick with my original prediction. Like Andre said, I think I'm going to go with Lakers in 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if Heat managed to pull it off because I feel like Game 1, I expect Heat to get Game 1 because I feel like LeBron always kind of he's inconsistent Game 1. He's either going to start super hot or start super cold.
Yep. Yeah, he has a real big tendency to that.
So I think I almost think Game 2 is going to explain like who's going to really win the series. Game 2 is almost more important than Game 1 to me.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I get it.
Listen, man, you can pick the Lakers, bro. We're not holding you at gunpoint.
I already said Lakers in 6, okay? But I'm going to have to watch my back for both of y'all afterwards.
Oh, man. Yeah, with this series, like, I'm not expecting a whole bunch. Like I said, I'm happy with the finals berth, man, because for me, this team was, as everybody's been saying, that team is full of underdogs. Nobody saw Bam taking this leap that he has, like the way he took over Game 6 the other night. And nobody saw, Jimmy Butler, being more so the guy on a team that would go past the second round or be in the finals even that. Yeah, like nobody saw that. And, nobody saw Goran Dragic turning up in the playoffs like he has been, leading scorer for us for, I believe it was it the second round? Goji was the leading scorer, something like that. I know Bam was. Yeah, I know Bam was for this past round, but like nobody saw us doing any of this, bro. And
might have been Indiana actually, because every game he had 20+ points. Might have been Indiana.
It probably was them then. Yeah, okay. But either way, man, like nobody saw us, doing the things that we're doing, and we pretty much put the league on notice. I know it's different circumstances being in the bubble and all that, but this is still the NBA season regardless. And I give my team props. They've made it this far, and if they can pull it off, great. If they can't, then, we still got time to build. We got a 23-year-old that's on his way to being a superstar. He really literally doesn't have a ceiling. Like, he's showing flashes of different things that he can do. He's starting to shoot mid-ranges more comfortably. He's starting to attack the basket off the dribble now. Like, Bam is doing things that, like, you would expect out of a guard, like, at maybe 6'5", 6'6" to be doing, taking it to the basket and scoring on people or stopping and popping from mid-range. Like, he's doing all that as a 6'9" big man. And it's crazy, man. So if he can continue trending upward, which I know he will because Bam is a hard worker, we got a bright future, dog. And getting to the finals with him not being anywhere near his peak yet, hey, I'm gonna take it. This is good experience. I'm gonna take it. This is gonna be a battle-tested team. And
Eric, what do you think is gonna be the X factor for the Lakers and the X factor for the Heat?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I feel like almost when people ask for X factor, it's almost like for Rockets fans, we always consider Eric Gordon our X factor player. And what we really mean when we're saying that is he's an inconsistent player, and it just depends if he's good or not. Pretty much that. Like, that's what we mean by that.
That is how it happens with him, though.
Because when he's on, he looks like he's a star. He could be an all-star. When he's off, he looks like the worst player in the league. And I don't even want him on our G League team. Like, I can't stand him. But for Lakers, I feel like it might just be like Danny Green is pretty inconsistent. So he comes to mind just for someone who never his shooting and defense can impact pretty heavily. But when he's off, I feel like he just doesn't really.
When he's off, he's not doing anything. It's just like
he just brings vibes.
That man just out there getting cardio when his shot is off, bro.
Like, vibes to the court.
For the Heat, me and my brother were even talking about this. It's hard to pick an X factor player for the Heat because the thing about y'all is y'all are just so deep. So when one player isn't playing good, someone else is just gonna pop off or come up. Like Tyler Hero, didn't he have 37 points that one game? Then the next night, he had like 2. Yeah, 4. So like, and y'all still did good both nights. It's like regardless of whether a player does good or not, it's like someone else will step up and take his shoes that night. Then the next night, another person will. It's just like someone different every night will show up, and that's why I'm giving y'all a bigger chance than most people because the ability someone even put on Twitter, they said like if you take away Jimmy, Bam, AD, and LeBron, who are the next 5 best players in the series, and you could argue that like 4 of the 5 are Heat players. Like I don't even know who the Lakers' 3rd best player is. Maybe Rondo right now.
KCP right now.
Probably KCP, honestly, yeah. Low key.
I think it's KCP.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know. I'd go with probably Danny Green or even Kuzma. Kuzma is really up and down, but
oh my God, I can't stand that dude, man.
He's crazy.
I'm on record for my Kuz hatred, bro. Everybody knows I can't stand that dude, man. No, don't do this. Don't do this.
Ever since I saw him like rap into that Chance the Rapper song, Hot Shower,
oh my God.
Everyone did a whole 180.
Man, things went downhill for him so fast after that, as they should have. It's what he deserves, man. But
I'm gonna say this.
I don't.
I feel like you can't prove hypotheticals in sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people that say, "Oh, if we had fans, then blank and blank would have made the finals." So throwing away all the hypotheticals, if you want to play devil's advocate, if we didn't have Eric Spoelstra, we wouldn't be in the NBA Finals. I don't think people realize that. I think the X factor in this finals specifically is going to be coaching because the talent is there. You know, AD and LeBron are top 5 players, top 10 players, whatever you want to call them. One of them has arguably one of the greatest resumes of all time. But can Frank Vogel manage to outsmart Spoelstra? You know, when we had those gritty series back in 2012, 13, and 14, that man Vogel did zero adjustments to be as where he was at. So now that he has LeBron and AD, people are like, oh, well, the Lakers have the 2 best players in the series, Lakers in 4, Lakers in 3. But you don't realize the coach you're going up against. Like, no disrespect to Mike Malone or MDA or Billy Donovan, not Billy Donovan, sorry, Terry Stotts. But now you have to actually coach. Yeah. You know, Spoelstra is a guy that he adjusts game to game. And people are already saying, oh well, all he has to do is watch the film on the zone and he'll kill it. But Spo has adjustments for the adjustments, so let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
Not to be biased, I don't know what you think, Eric, but Spo has to be right now the best coach in the NBA.
Oh, I think he's the best coach. And when you said no disrespect to D'Antoni, you can disrespect D'Antoni.
He's probably in Cancun right now, man.
He's probably, and if Rockets get Doc Rivers, I'm just throwing this out there real quick. I'm about to switch over to the Heat too because this is getting frustrating.
Hey man, it's all good.
This is on the record. This is live. We're recording.
But no, I think Spoelstra is probably the best coach in the league right now because I don't know who you could really. I mean, there's always a couple coaches you can have out there. I'd even say Brad Stevens is up there, just how he always has the Celtics high up in the standings and going pretty far. But
yeah,
I think Spoelstra's ability to adjust, like you said, and like he has adjustments on top of adjustments. Like he's always prepared for. He's like playing chess. He's always 2 steps ahead, so he just knows what to do for the next thing.
That's one thing.
Would you rather start a franchise with Brad Stevens or James Harden?
Man, why are you doing this to me?
That question was funny, man. Someone brought it up like 2 days ago, and I was laughing, man. They were like, "Do you want to start a franchise with Brad Stevens or LeBron James?"
That question will always be funny, man. I seen somebody do it with somebody the other day. It cracked me up, man.
Sorry about this.
Because people don't realize that picking a coach or a player, it's like, why? Like, why is that a thing? But
I'm just talking to people, you know.
Twitter can be a funny place.
Appreciate it.
LeBron said it today. People were like, they were saying, oh, people think that Spo was good because he had LeBron, because he had myself, Wade, and Bosh. But people don't realize that if it was that easy, then every coach in the league would be successful.
Anybody could do it, and that's not true. And like y'all was saying about Spo having adjustments for adjustments, like people don't realize that. Like people keep saying, and don't get me wrong, like it's 100% possible with the way AD has been shooting the mid range this playoffs for him to essentially break the zone, and maybe if LeBron finds his jumper again consistently, he can break the zone too. But that doesn't mean that Spo won't have something else to try. Like it's not like, oh, the zone is broken, the series is over. Like it's not that simple with Spo. Like you can't just break Spo, bro. It's not like Spo like, hey, go run this set on defense, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like he's not finna just have you out there looking stupid. He always has a plan. He always has a plan B.
3 backup plans ready.
Yeah, like he always has a plan B, a plan C, and maybe even a plan D if necessary. So that's why I feel like we could at least get a game or two against these guys. And, you know, playing against somebody like LeBron and AD, that like those are 2 supreme talents right there. We don't have that on our team. We don't have 2 guys of that talent measure on our team. So for the Heat, we're going to have to really play like together, like as a team. Like everybody got to be clicking at the right times, at the right moments. Like everything almost has to go perfectly synchronized, and their defense has to be on top, you know, trying to stop them too. And you're not going to stop those 2. You're going to have to hope that one of them at least one of them has a bad game, and then you have a better chance to win. Like if AD's having an off night, then you forcing LeBron to take over the game. And we've seen LeBron take over games and win them, but it's not possible for him to lose a game that he takes over in either. I've seen that happen plenty of times. So I don't know, man. I feel like that's going to be our best bet. We're just going to have to try to slow at least one of them down, and then we got to attack on that. Because I've seen the Heat, you know, they'll shut somebody out of a game, but they don't pounce on the opportunity. Like they kind of did that with Tatum. Like Tatum would be off, but we not taking off on them. Like their star player isn't doing too well, bro. Like this is the time for y'all to, you know, execute and capitalize on this. Like y'all got to do that. And that's what they need to do if they're going to try to win this championship. So, and not to mention they got to do that 4 times. So this ain't just no regular season matchup, man. This is the biggest stage in the NBA right here. Like they literally have to do that 4 times in order to, you know, get the job done. And can they? Sure. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if somebody's going to get hurt. We don't know if somebody is going to consistently struggle throughout the series. We don't know
if Danny Green is going to go back to his 2013 NBA Finals form.
Man,
You
yeah,
don't know
we
that.
literally don't know that at all, but it's a very high possibility. Shout out random scrub heat killers. But yeah, man, we don't know, bro. We won't know until the series is played out. But like I said, I'm sticking with the Lakers winning the series. They are the heavy favorites, obviously. I'm sick of them taking this damn underdog route because of the media, which is controlled by them. But we're not gonna get into that.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, that we ain't gonna discuss that. But yeah,
That drives me crazy.
A few things to add. Like Eric, no disrespect to the Rockets, but the way the Lakers played the Rockets, they were like, let's double Harden and we'll live with the results that Westbrook gives us. Can we manage to double LeBron and live with the results that AD gives us? We don't know yet. So it'll be interesting to see what Spo plans out. And another reason why I want to win this series badly is not because of like bragging rights or LeBron or anything. 7 years ago on Twitter, people said and expressed and said if Vogel had LeBron James, they would have won the series too. Well, now he has LeBron James and he has Anthony Davis. So let's see what he could do. That's the number one reason why I want to win, for sure.
And I found that funny. I noticed that when this was before we even won and made it to the finals, I was like, damn, like if the Heat make it to the finals and play the Lakers, it's the opposite now. Like we used to go at Vogel with Spo and Bron. Now Vogel has LeBron, and then we still got Spo in our team now. Like I thought about that like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, damn, it's really flipped now. Like if we actually meet with them in the finals,
everything comes full circle.
Yeah, man, like that tripped me out. I was like, damn, like things really flipped. I'd have never expected LeBron and Frank Vogel to be a pairing ever. Like it's not that. Frank is a terrible coach. I really genuinely didn't expect that. It caught me off guard, but that's funny when they come back like that.
Those Pacers teams, they had George Hill, they had Paul George, they had David West, and they had Roy Hibbert.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that weren't like superstars, but they had grit, they had culture,
and
they brought it to us every night.
Yeah.
Now this time around, we have Goran, we have Duncan, we have Crowder, we have Jimmy. We have Bam, who made that leap. We have Hero off the bench, Iguodala. So it's just like there's a lot of parallels between that 2013 Heat Pacers series and this 2020 Heat Lakers series. I
will say this: LeBron owes us a favor. The last time he had a team that went 4-1 in the first 3 rounds, he sold. So I'm gonna need him to do that again. He owes us one. He owes us one for 9 years ago.
I don't think there was an NBA.
That season got suspended.
Yeah. I'm just always talking about how Dwayne Wade got robbed MVP and stuff that year.
Oh, my God, man.
Never lives that down.
That year didn't happen, man. 2011 did not happen.
I've said several times that if I could just ask LeBron one question, it would be why. Like, why did you do that? Why?
Is he more mature than he was 9 years ago? 100%.
Yeah.
Is he still chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan? 100%. So will he let AD be the number one option?
Hell,
we don't know yet.
I highly doubt that.
I don't think so either. Not to be disrespectful.
I don't think so.
What do you think, Eric? Do you think he's gunning for the Finals MVP?
I think if the Lakers do it, I think LeBron will win Finals MVP. And we were even just talking about this in the group chat. I feel like AD could outplay LeBron, and LeBron would still win Finals MVP. Like I feel like
narrative,
it's just
bro.
It's LeBron's to lose at this point if they win. Like
it's the narrative. And it's funny when he talks about the narrative. I'm like, bro, you're the reason for the narrative.
Like people been pinning like your age, Kobe's death. Like people put everything in your favor. Like that's what annoys me. Like come on.
People gonna be like, oh, he won Finals MVP 10 years after Kobe did, and Kobe died this year. Like, what do that got to do with anything? Like, where do it?
Listen, man. I don't know, Eric. I don't know how you feel, but this whole "do it for Kobe" thing is still sad as hell. I don't know how you feel about that, but
it bothers me because I feel like they're just kind of like exploit. Like they're using his name just.
They're
for
taking,
that. Like,
they're taking it too far now.
Like I understand, okay, they do want to win. Like they want it to be in honor of Kobe, and they want Lakers win championship. But I don't know, like even like I don't know which voter it was. I know Rachel Nichols talked, or not Rachel Nichols, whatever her name was, said she's
Ramona
Shelburne.
Yeah, Ramona Shelburne, and it's just like I saw one, and so LeBron got 16 votes. Well, Ramona Shelburne straight up admitted she votes on narratives. Now I saw another say LeBron had to swerve around the tragedy of Kobe's death. I'm like, that's how you're basing your votes on? Like, y'all are going that far just to
As
help
if
him
the
out.
entire NBA didn't feel Kobe's
The
death.
entire NBA suffered through that. Like, I'm sorry.
This man LeBron said, it pissed me off that he got 16. Yeah, well, he should have gotten less. What are you talking about?
I think
it made it funny how he tried to make it a narrative thing. I'm like, LeBron, your voters said that they voted off of narrative. You should be mad at them more than anybody. The people that said they were voting for you, 90% of them voted for you because you're 35 and because you dealt with Kobe's death in the middle of the season, as if all the other 400 plus NBA players didn't do it. You're just the only excluded one that has to, suffer the pain because you play for the Lakers. Giannis didn't have to deal with it at all. He doesn't, he didn't have a relationship.
He didn't get the challenge from Kobe to be MVP.
Kobe didn't tell him go win an MVP, or Kobe didn't train with him. None of that. None of that happened. That was Photoshop.
I feel like you can't complain. You can't complain when the voters literally come out and say that. Like, I personally don't really mind that Westbrook won MVP in 2017. Like, at the time, I thought Harden should have won, but
right.
I don't really care enough to say otherwise now. I don't really care enough to say, I don't care enough to say otherwise now, but my main thing is when people are like, oh, y'all say he only won because he averaged a triple-double. Well, Chris Broussard straight up said if he averages 9.9 rebounds, I'm not sure he'd get my vote. So, of course, we're going to say he won it because of the triple-doubles when the voters literally say they're voting for him because of the triple-double.
I feel
it's the same
thing bro. Like, they talk in circles, but try to make you feel dumb for it. I don't understand it. Like, it's stupid. And with that whole MVP season,
LeBron was like, ever since I came in the league, the voting changes every year. Some years it's this. And I was waiting for that man to say some years people win it because of triple doubles, but he just didn't say it. He stuttered. He was about to say it, and then he stuttered.
I feel like, I'm going to be real. I think LeBron has won 4 MVPs in his career, and I think he deserved 4 MVPs. Yeah. I can't think of many years. Like, I can't think of any years that he got robbed. I think people overuse robbed. I don't think he's robbed of any year. You could argue 2011 when Rose won. You could argue 2011 when Rose won. You could argue, I guess, 2006 when Nash won. But
you can make cases, but he's never been – I don't think he's ever been like somebody stole his MVP award.
No. Like
you could make people say for Chris Paul and robbed of MVP and someone else having a case just as good as yours.
Exactly.
Like, you could make a case for LeBron this year, but I still think it's Giannis.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with LeBron in 2018. They were like, oh, well, he had the better total stats. He had 50 wins. He had scrubs for teammates. But in 2014 or 13 or 12, I think it was 2012, KD had better total stats. And they were like, and he had a better record, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they won 50 games that year.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Colin Cowherd started that total stats stuff. I'm pretty sure Colin Cowherd posted that graphic. Everyone just ran with it.
How do you win 65 games and people are like, nah, someone else deserves it? Like, come on.
and it's funny because, like, I get they're doing it to get back, but if you look on it, they're saying part of the reason LeBron should win this year is because he's playing in the harder conference. Well, in 2018, he played in the easier conference, so that hurts your argument for 2018.
They literally always go in circles and contradict
it's just contradicting yourself
backwards, and they try to play you like you're stupid. I don't understand why media thinks that we don't see that. It's why people have podcasts and why people have their own segments and talk shows about this kind of stuff and talk about it on Twitter, because we see what y'all are doing, bro. Y'all just get paid to be stupid on TV most of the time.
That's the difference.
Like, that's the only difference between us. We actually know what we're talking about, and most of y'all are on TV getting paid just to speak nonsense. Y'all getting paid hundreds of thousands and some millions of dollars to contradict yourselves. If somebody told me I could get paid $2 million a year to contradict myself, you don't think I'm going to sign up for that job? You know how contradicting I could be, bro? Like, but I'm not.
You remember the video that went viral of Skip debating against himself?
That was funny.
Yes. He was talking about like Aaron Rodgers or something like that.
Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah. I remember that. That was hilarious.
Eric, unfortunately, your team right now has no coach. If tomorrow Daryl Morey calls you and says, "Who do we hire? Who are you hiring? Talk to us."
Let's hear it.
Okay, not Doc Rivers. I just don't think Doc Rivers is all that. I'm gonna be real.
James, you can't keep ISO.
I haven't even looked into this that much, to be honest, but I see a lot of people are talking about Sam Cassell. I feel like that could be a good one. Like, I wouldn't
Former
be so
Rocket
against that
champion.
one. Yeah. I don't even know who's really like available. I saw some people talking about Jeff Van Gundy. I can't really see that happening. I cannot see that ever happening, and I don't even know. Like, that's just.
I don't know
I
why
don't
he
know.
keeps getting brought up in the conversation.
Him and Mark Jackson, dog. Please stick to saying
Stop.
hand down, man down. Like,
Please.
stay up far away from a basketball court.
I guess at the end of the day, I don't really care necessarily who. Like, I care who our coach is. Right now, I don't have any huge favorites that I want to get. I just want someone who will, if we do still have Harden over the next few years, because everyone's talking about how we're going to trade him. He's going to be. If we still have him, I want someone who at least is going to hold him accountable, because D'Antoni never did.
That's what's needed.
That was my biggest problem with D'Antoni. He would watch Harden pass the ball straight to the other team, run down, play no defense. Then he'd watch like Eric Gordon jack up a 40-foot three. Then play like he'd watch 8 straight bad plays and then call timeout and walk up to the ref and argue about a missed call from 10 minutes ago. Bro, like you gotta move forward in the game. You can't be arguing about one missed call.
Rocket fans are about to unfollow you, bro.
Bro, they already do. I'm blocked by so many. Bro,
that's the difference, man. Like Hero has said it. Jimmy, Bam, Hero, Dragic have said it. Jimmy's always saying we're not afraid to hold each other accountable. Even Tyler Hero, who's the rookie,
that's so key.
We're not scared to be vocal.
Yeah,
someone that's vocal.
I do like that about Westbrook and Chris Paul, though. Like Westbrook, he was pretty up and down this year, kind of like Harden. Harden was very up and down. But I have to say, I've always liked about Chris Paul and Westbrook is they both held Harden accountable because they knew D'Antoni wouldn't. Like, they both would get on to him when something was happening. Like, people all were making memes out of that one argument Chris Paul and Harden had on the bench that one time. Like, I was just happy to see somebody going at Harden.
Getting in place like, hey.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, and plus Russ and Harden have been friends for years. So, like, I
feel like
got a brotherhood.
Everyone pictures PJ Tucker as this guy who will go at people, but then he's just on Instagram posting, oh, well, he just gets double at half court. Y'all don't know about that. I'm like, okay, first off, that's part of your fault. Be better so they can't double him. Like
help.
It's just frustrating. Houston sports sucks. I don't know why I do this.
I just feel like you're in a torture chamber.
My goodness. Astros won today. I'll take it.
It's funny how people are saying, oh, the Lakers only won because they doubled James Harden at half court. I'm like, do you want to double Eric Gordon? Do you want to double Tucker? Do you want to who are we doubling?
I don't like that they double him because it sucks seeing Harden limited like that. But I'm not gonna be mad at them for it because that's smart basketball. Like you play to win, and they're playing smart basketball to win. If Westbrook or Gordon playing 4-on-3 aren't going to punish you, then why would you stop doing it?
If Damian Lillard was averaging damn near 40 in the bubble, and the Lakers were double teaming him every single time, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the Lakers are scared of Damian Lillard. Of course they're scared. He's the best offensive weapon that the Blazers had. You're going to make Whiteside beat you, Nurkic beat you, Melo beat you, CJ, not Damian Lillard. You live with the – shout out to Hassan, man. We got shooters. We got a lot of them, bro.
Got catfish box, shoot box. Oh, Whiteside got to be the funniest dude ever. I swear to God, bro.
I think they posted something, and it was like, I guess someone photoshopped it, and it said, like, they posted it tonight during the presidential debate. I don't know when they actually made it. It said, it was Hassan Whiteside tweeting. It said, man, I'm so sick of this country. I'm moving to Hawaii.
Man, Austin is back at it again. He wins again, bro. He wins Twitter again. I can't.
That was funny, yo.
That's one thing I will say I miss about Whiteside. He was constantly giving material.
Snapchat king, man.
He was giving us meme king material in Miami. I will say that much. Even that damn fish tank, especially, dog. Oh my goodness.
Another thing to remember, man, shout out to Myers Leonard, yo. That man started almost every game this season.
And has barely touched the floor in the playoffs.
And he knew what time it was when the playoffs came around. And he didn't cry.
He ain't complaining.
He was the loudest man on that bench.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Myers.
Anytime you look at
True
the Heat bench during the games, Myers is always the main one jumping up or jumping over the little board. Like he's a true teammate, bro. And Myers
that's the thing about y'all
in general.
Y'all got so many team players. Like y'all just have so many people that can come together. That, like I said, that's why I think y'all have a chance. Y'all have been surprising people all playoffs long. Y'all lost. Y'all are what 12-3 so far. Like
first time since 2006 that both teams have the same record.
Yeah, like just saying that they don't have a chance, I feel like is just disrespectful to them, kind of, because they've already proven. Some people were picking the Pacers against them. I don't know why. People were picking the Pacers against them. Yeah, like they picked the Pacers. They proved y'all wrong.
Anybody else is fine. Like the Bucks, Celtics, Raptors. That's fine.
Just proved them
Pacers,
round after round.
I don't understand that one. But hey, man, before we wrap this pod up, I want to say this: if Miami wins, like say by the grace of God, by some miracle, these fellas won the NBA title. Who's the Finals MVP? I say Bam. I don't know.
I feel like Jimmy wants Bam to win Finals MVP.
I think so
that
too.
man is gonna do everything in his power to put the world be like, listen, guys from Australia, China, Africa, this is Bam Adebayo. This is who he is.
I can see it, bro. Like if we really manage to pull that off, I could 100% see Jimmy. You know, when he gets his chance to talk, I could 100% see him putting on a Bam propaganda show, bro, because he loves that kid, man. I love their relationship. I love his relationship with Gore, too, because they're funny. But just the way he loves Bam and always props him up because he knows Bam is such a great young talent and has so many years coming in this league, man. I could see that 100%.
Nick, one more thing. You tweeted out that every time Bam holds himself accountable, he delivers the next game. And look at what happened in Game 6.
I have yet to be wrong about that, bro. And I know it every single time when he says, I play like trash or I play like this or that. I'm like, oh, yeah, Bam about to cook next game. And every time, every single time. And he cooked way beyond my expectations this last game. I knew he was going to show up, but I was like, oh, Bam is like – Bam wasn't playing like he's really here. Like he really wants to get to the finals. That's what I like to see, man. So I give Bam his props, dog. I had to say it the other day. I was like, hey, Jimmy came here. He was my favorite player, but Bam is taking that leap. He might be my favorite player right now, and I can admit it. He's my favorite player. He's officially cemented himself.
I'd probably give Bam Finals MVP too. I feel like Jimmy's just like one of the most unselfish stars ever. Like
Not according to the media.
Every chance he gets, he's giving other teammates props, or he's saying, like, I'm not, like, he just always is shedding the light to someone else, and that's one of the reasons I like him a lot. Like, he's a very likable guy. And I'm glad to see, and I'm really glad that he's doing good here because everyone was talking about, like, when he was in Minnesota, people were asking, like, oh, is he really the problem? Like, everyone was talking about, like, how he might be the bad teammate. I'm glad that he's finally
shedding that image.
And people aren't thinking that anymore.
I would love it, man, because like I said, I still have the Lakers winning this. That none of this changes my prediction. But if we somehow ended up, becoming the champs, man, if Bam could win that Finals MVP, that does a lot, man. Like I know Jimmy's gonna be on the front lines rooting for this kid, and this this could be a big game changer, bro. Just us getting to the finals alone is a big game changer. But I hope we do big things, man. But I appreciate y'all coming on this pod, talking about this finals preview with me. And we definitely got a pod again, whether it's in the middle of the finals, after the finals, whenever y'all want. I don't really care. But
before Game 7, hell yeah. I mean, what?
This was fun, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Andres, any last words?
Heat in 7.
I knew you was going to say that.